we're not having a conversation.
We're not having a conversation. You're talking about theories and I'm listening.
Talk back then.
Recently, Joe Rogan has been the subject of significant media coverage, albeit mostly negative. The content of his podcast and his personal views have attracted attention, prompting speculation about the future of his show if he continues on this trajectory. While he has made several controversial statements, it is important to acknowledge that Rogan has also spoken out against individuals who try to promote extremist ideas. Before we dive into the topic and give you a thorough breakdown, we'd appreciate it if you could show some love by liking the video, subscribing to our channel, and hitting the bell icon to stay updated with our latest uploads. Now that's out the way, let's get straight into the video.
Turkish wrestler versus an Aikido guy. Okay. This motherfucker's not stopping anybody from taking him down. I'm telling you right now. Takes him down like I thought. Mount, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Taps him, head and arm choke. That's what I thought.
At number 9 on our list is the episode featuring Andrew Hill, a scientist who practices Aikido. As a prominent voice in the UFC, Joe Rogan is highly knowledgeable about martial arts. While he found Aikido interesting, he was skeptical of its effectiveness compared to other martial arts. During the podcast, Joe and Andrew engaged in a debate about the techniques and beliefs of Aikido. Andrew argued that the founder of the art could take down opponents by shifting their balance, but Joe countered by presenting a video of an Aikido master being taken down by a basic grappler. This prompted Joe to criticize the art. While the conversation remained civil, the tension between the two was palpable, and it's lucky that things didn't escalate beyond the podcast. At number 8 on our list is Brian Redban. As a guest on the Joe Rogan Experience, there are certain rules of etiquette that must be followed, including avoiding excessive self-promotion. Comedian Brian Redban learned this lesson the hard way. Initially, Redban enjoyed appearing on the show and joking around with Joe, but as time went on, he began using the platform to promote himself and his comedy. This did not sit well with Rogan, and the tension between the two came to a head during one podcast when Redban shifted the conversation to discuss a review he had received for a comedy show. The argument continued when Redban returned to the show, and the friction between them became too much for Rogan to handle, resulting in Redban no longer being invited to appear on the show. Coming in at number 7 is comedian Jamie Kilstein. During a sketch, he made a joke about assaulting women that Joe Rogan found distasteful. Rogan called Kilstein out on the joke, asking why he would make light of such a serious topic, especially given the backlash he had faced. Kilstein attempted to defend himself, saying that the joke was intended to highlight certain issues. However, he went too far when he claimed that being murdered was better than being sexually assaulted. Rogan was outraged and argued that healing from an assault was possible, but death was final. Fortunately, Rogan was able to address the situation and prevent it from becoming even more uncomfortable, as has happened in other episodes of his show. At number 6, we have comedian Joey Diaz, who expressed his strong views on political correctness during one episode with Joe Rogan and an actor. Diaz, a Cuban American, spoke in a style that some people may find peculiar, but it's common for his background. He went on a tirade about how he didn't care about political correctness and how his mindset was too deeply ingrained to change at his age. Although both Rogan and the guest lost their temper during the discussion, Diaz became more offensive than Rogan. However, Rogan didn't take things too far, and he understood that Diaz wasn't responsible for the name of his upcoming album, which was deemed unacceptable.
So have you ever done DMT?
Number 5, Nick DiPaolo. Nick DiPaolo has become known to many for his strong political opinions, particularly when he appeared on Joe Rogan's show. During one such appearance, the discussion turned to Hillary Clinton and former President Donald Trump. Rogan argued that Trump was a liar, but DiPaolo disagreed and made sarcastic remarks about sources like the Washington Post. He argued that the media was twisting the words of the former president and even asked Rogan to define lying. However, DiPaolo's arguments were ultimately unsuccessful in convincing Rogan, who accused him of resorting to whataboutism, citing an article about Hillary Clinton's inaccuracies. Whataboutism refers to the practice of deflecting an argument by raising a different issue instead of addressing the original one with the facts.
And what did he lie about specifically?
Well, there's a lot.
Like what?
We could pull it up. Let's find out all the things.
Well, what, do you got to go to salon.com?
Oh, you can go to a million different websites. Well, do you know what a whataboutism is?
A whataboutism?
Yeah, when someone talks about something and instead of refuting it with facts, they go, yeah, well, what about Hillary? What about Bill? Bill did it too. What about this? What about that?
You're going to tell me?
Whataboutism.
That's what I just committed.
That was a whataboutism. Because you were saying that Hillary lied.
But
we both agree.
But you're making my point. You're going to the Washington Post. Okay. You know, I like to know the definition of a lie. If he misstates something. Okay.
Let's see what it says. Jesus Christ, you're so defensive. It's like, do you work for the organization?
No, I don't. But you're putting.
I'm saying
you're using the Washington Post.
No, this isn't the Washington Post.
Well, what is it?
This is
the
NBC.
Independent. Oh, the NBC. Okay, NBC.
Number 4, Brian Callan. Brian Callan is a frequent guest on the Joe Rogan podcast, along with former Ultimate Fighter champ Brendan Schwab. They've reviewed fights and done other things on the show, but on one occasion, Brian started attacking Schwab, claiming he had been bullied for a year and wasn't going to take it anymore. Brian tried to pick a fight, but Joe Rogan shut it down. He called out Brian's tough guy attitude, which he saw as a facade. Rogan noted that it wasn't their fault that Brian let people talk to him that way for so long. It seemed that Brian was more interested in trying to appear tough than actually being tough, which is a big difference. Recurring guests on the podcast are well known to fans, and Schwab and Callan are two of Joe's favourites.
If somebody tried to bull me, I'll show up at your fucking house and kill you. That's what happens. I get so angry.
I'm not buying that even remotely.
I hate when...
Hey,
That's
bro,
not true.
You fucking bully me.
If I
you try bullying me right now, motherfucker.
You know what your problem is?
Hold on, let me handle this.
Here's your problem. You've talked to too many guys that let you say shit like that, and then it becomes like vernacular. It becomes like a part of the way you talk.
Number 3, Adam Conover. Adam Conover and Joe Rogan discussed the topic of transgender people, which is a hotly debated issue in our country. Comedian and TV host Adam Conover shared his opinion on the matter, suggesting that there should be genetic information and hormone therapy available for kids who are unsure about their gender identity. Joe Rogan, however, pointed out the issue with this approach, as it puts all the power in the hands of the parents and the therapy is irreversible. Furthermore, the suicide rate amongst transgender people, both pre-op and post-op, is still alarmingly high, which highlights the complexity of this issue. Despite the complexity, it's important to see that Joe Rogan takes a passionate and empathetic approach to discussing such issues, which is crucial for increasing awareness and promoting meaningful dialogue. Number 2, Candace Owens. Global warming is a highly debated topic in the world today, with many people believing in its existence and trying to find ways to stop it. However, some high-ranking individuals, such as former President Trump, have downplayed the issue. On Joe Rogan's podcast, political activist Candace Owens expressed her disbelief in global warming, admitting that she was uninformed on the subject. This statement led Rogan to challenge Owens on the importance of being well read on a topic before expressing an opinion. He cited the fact that almost 100% of scientists today believe in global warming, indicating that it's a significant issue. Despite Rogan's arguments, Owens maintained her stance. As a public figure, her words have influence, which made Rogan's frustration clear.
You don't think we have to care about the environment? Like,
No, not even a little bit.
Not even a little bit?
Do I believe in climate change? No.
Okay, but this is an incredibly complicated subject.
Right.
And if you would have to talk to a bunch of different scientists and see how they gather data and see what they understand about CO2 levels and what's the danger of them and what can combat it and what could not. Have you done all this, or do you take this flippant opinion based on the party line?
This wouldn't be the hill I died on, right? But it's not about the party. I just genuinely, I've read a ton about it, but I would not be able to come to you and say, like, this is my strong opinion, but here's like the easiest way to say this, right?
Okay.
The fact that there is a disparity in the science community about whether or not it's real is enough to...
It's very little.
Yep.
Very little disparity. Most scientists, the vast majority, agree that human beings are negatively affecting climate change.
Yeah.
The vast majority.
Last but not least, number 1, Eddie Bravo. Eddie Bravo, a martial artist who has developed his own style of jiu-jitsu, is also known for his wild and comical tangents on the Joe Rogan Experience. However, Bravo has also gained notoriety as a conspiracy philosopher and flat earth theory supporter. Joe Rogan, who is not a proponent of such beliefs, felt uneasy discussing the topic with Bravo and was critical of his sources and the theory itself. In the end, Rogan deemed Bravo's ideas as outrageous.
I just need proof, man.
What about
I see a lot of
consumer flight?
deception. I see a
In
lot
the
of
future,
deception.
would you
I see
be willing?
deception everywhere, so I'm like,
Okay, but SpaceX isn't the government. SpaceX
yes, they
is a
are.
private company.
Yeah, no, they're subsidized by the government, man.
Oh, they're subsidized?
They do. They got like $4 billion from
So
the
they tell
government.
them to fake space?
You saw that Tesla launch? You saw that?
What are you talking about?
When
he
he claimed to launch a
the
Tesla?
Roadster
Yeah,
into
that Roadster.
space?
Did you see that footage?
The actual Tesla in space?
Yes.
Yes, I saw that.
And you have I've always known you as a dude who had a strong, vibrant bullshit meter. You've always been that guy. You're going to watch that evidence and go,
okay.
You can't just buy that, dude. You can't just buy that,
Well,
dude.
let me
It's
see it.
ridiculous.
Okay, let me see
the
it.
very first thing,
Jamie's gonna find it.
Hey, the very first
Don't
thing.
poison the water.
Okay.
If you want me to get an honest,
The first thing,
reaction.
the first thing Elon Musk said in his press conference, the first thing he said is like, "Well, I think it's impossible and ridiculous, and if you can tell it's real because it looks so fake." That's the opposite of logic. There's logic and reason, and then there's the opposite of that.
No,
you
wait,
can
but-
tell it's real because it looks so fake. Is the opposite of logic.
Or that's just something he says because he's a fucking genius and he's taking a picture from space.
No, the reason
of a
why he
car
said
that's
that,
flying through the air.
No, the reason he said that was because all day when they did that, all day, all over the internet was like fake, 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 fake. So that he had to have a statement.
Please hold on.
He
You're
had to have
killing
a
me.
statement.
This is so ridiculous. Let me see it, Jamie.
You made it to the end of the video, you absolute legend. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments below. But hold up, don't leave just yet. We've got not one, but 2 videos on your screen right now for you to check out. Trust me, you won't want to miss them. Alright, I'll catch you over there. Until next time.